Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me. I am going to do a little video about the announcement today. Obey the call. Coming out, Heroes of the Storm style. So before I ruin it, let's just go ahead and watch the video, and then we'll talk about it some, shall we?
Hold your positions.
A little different art style. I like it. Dreadlord confirmed. Leap.
Now, Zagara!
I've never seen that in the game.
None resist the chill of death!
Yes. Well done, minions. Now, bow before Kel'Thuzad!
Seems OP. Alright, so Call of Kel'Thuzad. They haven't announced much about this. This was announced at Gamescom today. It's also worth noting that Kel'Thuzad is up on the website. All of his abilities are up. Description. So for those of you who don't know Kel'Thuzad, he is a lich that was created for the purposes of guiding Arthas through his transformation from a downtrodden former prince of the Alliance. He had kind of been corrupted by the undead, and Kel'Thuzad kind of guides him through the process of becoming the Lich King. So that's his big storyline. It wrapped up into one small tiny package there, but that's Kel'Thuzad from World of Warcraft. The other big question, so I'm going to go over these abilities, but first, the big question that I've been being asked today quite often has been, is Jaina a Dreadlord? It's an interesting question. I don't have a solid answer for you, but as we can see, very Dreadlordy, right? Let's see if I can find that first moment she really comes out. Here's the new Jaina look. So this, in my opinion, it's just a skin. People, let's not get overboard. There's been no announcement of what's going on with Jaina in World of Warcraft. For those of you who don't know the full background of Jaina, she is not a Dreadlord as far as we can tell. Never has been a Dreadlord as far as we can tell. She, of course, is a member of the Alliance, an Archmage, very powerful Archmage of the Alliance, and so she becomes a little bit corrupted in the process of losing her home of Theramore. The Horde blows up her home. Garrosh specifically blows up her home in Theramore. Gets her a little bit lost, but eventually she finds her way back to goodness in being the leader of the Kirin Tor in Dalaran. And then eventually the Kirin Tor decide that she's not impartial enough, that she's too anti-Horde when they need to go fight the Legion in this expansion. She doesn't want to aid the Horde. She doesn't want the Horde being a part of Dalaran. So they actually vote her out. They ask her to leave, and that's the last we've seen of Jaina. So Jaina left the Kirin Tor, which was really like the only home she had, and we have not heard from her since. We have no idea what's going on with Jaina. This, I think, takes a lot of liberties. I think we can agree. You know, there are a lot of liberties involved here, such as, you know, it's displaying some of the skins. You know, the random Sonya skin, which is, you know, not canon. Same with a lot of things in this that are not canon, like, you know, Sergeant Hammer stepping out of her out of her thing and punching Zagara. The Zagara skin is never something we saw in StarCraft. Obviously, it's, you know, the Heroes of the Storm takes liberties to make these skins. So, you know, there's always been this running joke that Jaina's a Dreadlord, and, you know, in Legion, this is the one opportunity where you could really see it actually coming to fruition. I don't know what Blizzard is going to do with Jaina, but this is something that is not confirmed in the canon for World of Warcraft. We don't know that she is a Dreadlord. It's impossible to say. Still a lot of things that are going to be announced at Gamescom, I'm sure. Still a lot of things to be announced at BlizzCon in just a couple of months. So we'll see where that goes. But for now, is Jaina a Dreadlord? My answer is not yet. This is just a skin. But we'll see where it goes. Meanwhile, Kel'Thuzad is going to be entering the Nexus soon. Let's go over his abilities real quick. Death and Decay. After half a second, launch an orb that explodes upon hitting an enemy, dealing 150 damage. The explosion leaves behind a pool of decay that lasts 2 seconds. So it's an upfront damage after half a second delay, and then it's about half that damage in dot damage. So you can see little circle. You can put it, you know, this has probably got a decent range. You can see it's not too far, but not bad. You know, good for AoE abilities, good for AoE combos. Frost Nova, it's another one that he could put away from himself. So that's the nice thing about Kel'Thuzad is nothing has to be up front and close. He is a true definition of a mage. He's going to stay back and do his thing. Create a Nova that explodes after 1 second, dealing 212, and slowing enemies for 35% for 2.5 seconds. So, just, you know, another CC. Also roots enemies in the center. So you can see it's got a center area and then an outer area, kind of like the AoE ability from Chromie, where the middle does more damage, the outer does a little bit less, but still does damage. Same thing here. It's just how CC'd are you? You're going to either be slowed for 2.5 seconds if you're in the outer ring, or you're going to be rooted in the middle for 1 second and then slowed for another 1.5 seconds afterwards. Chains of Kel'Thuzad. This one's maybe the most convoluted one, but still pretty easy to understand. Launches a chain, dealing damage to the first enemy or structure hit for 4 seconds after hitting an enemy. Chains can be reactivated to launch to an additional enemy. So I don't know if that still involves structures. I don't know if it's still going to be able to chain to structures, but right now I would guess it will, you know, like from structures to enemies. I would imagine that it would, but not sure. Either way, you can launch it to another enemy, pulling both enemies together and stunning them for half a second. So you can see the setup for this. You know, you chain one, you chain them together and pull them together, and then you hit them with Frost Nova to keep them rooted even longer, Death and Decay. It's all about getting enemies in an area and pulling them down. So it's a lot of damage potential there to combo with other high CC heroes. But this is really the first mage since Jaina and Kel'Thuzad that give a decent amount of CC, and this is by far more CC than we're going to see from any of the other mages. Master of the Cold Dark is his trait. It is a quest. So gain 1 blight every time a hero is rooted by Frost Nova or hit by Chains of Kel'Thuzad. So both of those abilities will go into the Master of the Cold Dark. Reward after gaining 15 blight, the cooldown of all basic abilities is reduced by 2 seconds. So we don't know what the cooldowns are yet. They haven't shown us that yet, but reduce them all by 2 seconds after 15 of those, which, you know, seems fairly easy, you know, if you can hit these skill shots. And then, let's see, after gaining 30 blight, gain 75% spell power. So he's going to be more of a late game hero, kind of like our Butchers, Varians, gazebos. He's gonna scale really well, but that may make him a little bit less impactful in the beginning. And you can see the range on chains seems to be pretty good, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But so we got 2 heroic abilities, of course, as always. Frost Blast, launch a meteor of ice at an enemy hero upon impact, deals damage, deals 100 damage to the target and 275 damage to all enemies hit in the area. So you can see it's an area of effect, and looks like a pretty large area of effect. Like, I think this is taken. You can see this is taken on Brax's Holdout. You can see this is the mid wall of the main structures. This is the camp area for the bruisers. You can see that covers pretty much the whole camp area. So that gives you an idea of how big this heroic ability is for Frost Blast. Pretty large. But yeah, more punishing to heroes that stay in it than the actual target itself, which I really like. It's a solid area denial. And it's going to combo incredibly well with other AoE ultimates like Void Prism and you know, maybe Gust. You might throw in like the Gravitation Surge. I mean, there's all kinds of these. Leyline Seal was the big one I was thinking of. So it could combo really well with those, but we'll see exactly how people combo that. Shadow Fissure creates a fissure anywhere on the battleground that explodes after 1.5 seconds, dealing 440 damage to enemy heroes hit in the area. So it is a global. You can do it from anywhere. And you can see it looks like it's a little bit smaller of an area, but it can be thrown anywhere. It's a global ability. So at 440 damage, it's quite a lot. It's a pretty large amount. So if you're going for more precision damage, it's Shadow Fissure. If you're going for more AoE damage, you know, like maybe you don't have as much setup, I think Frost Blast is better. It's going to guarantee that it's going to hit somebody, and it's going to root them also for a second half. I think I forgot to mention that. So it's going to give a little extra CC, whereas this one's just all damage. So like if you're trying to combo it with, you know, VP, Sulfurous Smash, Earthquake, or, you know, whatever, you're trying to make a big AoE wombo combo, Shadow Fissure is probably your best bet. Imagine a perfectly timed Shadow Fissure coming after a big Maw, you know, devouring Maw. But yeah, so those are the 2 ultimates, both AoE oriented, and that's Kel'Thuzad. You know, his biggest weakness is going to be survivability, but you can see he's got a lot of slowing CC potential. He's got pretty good range, looks like, on his abilities. So he's just going to be a very passive hero. He's going to be a scaling late game hero. I see we also got the Starlich skin, which I like. It's pretty neat. All right, so that's Kel'Thuzad. Kel'Thuzad and Jaina, not confirmed to be a Dreadlord. Not confirmed, but confirmed that we are getting a Dreadlord Jaina skin. We'll see what else Gamescom has to offer us information for Jaina, but yeah, not confirmed. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on in